When I first met you, didn't know a damn thing. Just set out to try to find my way. Didn't have no money, just a set of wheels and a whole lot of time to kill. I'll be rolling on the southern wind, cold and weathered, the grip of the storm. Please leave your light on in case I get back home before the dawn. Oh, my Delilah, don't you miss me when I go?
Hey, what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music, hanging out in Nashville with my friend and just absolutely amazing artist, guitar player, singer, Mr. Marcus King. Good to see you, man.
Hey, good to be here.
You have this interesting dilemma. Well, it's a dilemma for me, is that you start ripping a beautiful, amazing guitar solo, and I go, oh my God, his guitar playing's so good. And then I forget, and then you start singing a song, and I go, holy, dude, this guy's an amazing singer. Oh my God. And they fight each other in my fandom, you know, because each one blows me away so much that you start to forget about the other one. But you started playing guitar before singing, right?
Yeah, man, I did.
Did you have to force yourself to sing? Like, were you always singing?
It happened fairly naturally. I just kind of felt the need to do it, and I jumped into it with both feet. And I like my guitar playing and my singing to be an extension of one another. It's all just about expressing yourself.
Absolutely.
You know?
You got a lot of attention and notoriety pretty young. Was the Norms video like one of the first kind of things that blew up for you?
Yeah, it definitely was.
And you were maybe like 18 or 19 or something, maybe?
I was 18.
Jeez.
And my girlfriend at the time, her sister lived in LA, and we went up there and visited her sister. We went to Norm's because I'd heard all about it. I wanted to go check it out. And she's like, I used to live in LA. You know, this is how it goes. Like, you gotta play.
This is the biz.
And like, my grandfather was always like, there's no need in you going to any guitar place and showing off, showing out. You don't need to act like that. It just gives you a big head. So I'm like, I don't want to do that. And she's like, just play, sing a song. And I was like, I don't know, I don't want to do it. So I did, and then it turns out, you know, they invited Norm, and then it was a whole thing, and it was a great way to meet Norm, and that did kind of like make its rounds, and I got a little recognition from that, and as a result of that, I started working in some bigger rooms and playing some events where I'd have an opportunity to meet a lot of my heroes. But
kind of overwhelming, all just being that age, regardless of an artist or a musician that gets attention. I mean, that's a tough, transforming kind of time in your life. The first time I ever saw you was that Norms video. Because like when you popped up in that, I was already well into doing YouTube and guitar lessons and all that.
yeah.
So I was paying, you know, I was always paying attention to those different pages. So something I do want to talk about is your dog. Oh, there he is.
Hey, pal. He's an emotional support animal. Like, truly he is. And not just like for any kind of loophole
Right,
reason
right.
to get him on an airplane. But like, genuinely, I wanted a dog who like really, you know, like is attached to me the way this guy is. And I got him from our pals at Ducks Unlimited. I got him at the auction there. So it was a win-win. I got to donate some money to Ducks Unlimited and come home with this pup. And
How old is he?
he's about to be 2.
Nice.
That's September.
He doesn't, I mean, he seems so mellow.
He's mellow, yeah. He went to training camp down in Georgia, this place called Mossy Pond. I'd never been to an auction before, so I bid on the dog. It was
Did you have like a little card?
I had a paddle.
Paddle, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, paddle, right.
So I lifted my paddle, and I didn't expect to get the dog, and I got the dog.
Were you able to, you brought him that night with you?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we've got 2 dogs at home, and my wife's like, what the hell's wrong with you? Fair question. What the hell's wrong with me? And I ask myself that a lot. But, you know.
It's good to reflect.
Anyway, I sent him down to get trained, and I was like, you know, maybe this is just the universe's way of telling me I really do need this support animal. And what's great about having him is like being on the road, sometimes you, like when you struggle with depression and like you're self-medicating and stuff, which I don't do anymore, but you still have depressed days and you don't want to let the sunlight in. I got to get up and take him out. So I got to get some sunshine. I got to get some exercise just to get him some exercise. And if you don't want to take care of yourself, it's good to have something you do want to take care of.
He knows he's on camera now, by the way.
Oh, he's a ham sandwich.
Oh, you said ham sandwich?
Yeah, he's just my best pal.
That is so awesome.
What's cool about the emotional support animal is I thought that he was just going to give me emotional support, but the hip thing is like when he walks in a room, he just makes everybody else light up.
Yeah.
So I just walk in a room and everyone's already in a better mood than when I was there before. The band really loves having him on the bus, and you know, he's just really a super chill guy.
Love it. I mean, he's making me feel more relaxed. And by the way, congratulations on the new album.
Thanks.
I love it.
Thanks, man.
I think I've loved all your work, but I think it's the most progressive and like you can feel your continuation as an artist.
Thank you.
What's the latest single?
Latest single's a song called
Delilah?
Delilah, yeah.
Yeah, and you do that on piano, right?
I do it on piano and guitar live, and it was written by me and Gabe Lee, who's a writer here in town. And it's pretty funny because I don't know, we wrote together just maybe twice. Because I don't know, the chemistry just wasn't really right. Sometimes it's not, but Gabe's a really super sweet guy and a wonderful writer. And we came up with that song. It was like one of those that was like in the room with us, and we just had to let it
Extract.
out. Yeah, so we had to open the cage because it was like begrudgingly that we wrote it, and it was just felt right.
Do you have different techniques for writing a song? Like sometimes you come up with a cool riff and then you build something around that, or do you like to have a song title first and then go, okay, this is the theme that I'm gonna pull out? Like what works for you?
Sometimes I'll come up with a concept and then try to work backward from there. But other times it's like, you know, a melody. And then sometimes it's like a melody paired with like some lyrics that just flow together nicely. But a lot of times it's like a sneeze. It's like impulsive and just like, you know, I've been late checking out of hotel rooms because I'm like, well, I got to get my notepad and guitar back out because this is about to explode.
Do you write on paper?
Sometimes, I mean, it's really just like however it hits me. A lot of times it's in the notepad on my phone. Got a lot of us have voice memos that are just like, bah, 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 bah.
Have you ever had a song come to you in a dream?
Yeah, I have had songs come to me in dreams. I wish I had a better way of like bottling that up. When we were cutting Delilah, I played bass on it, and I was like trying to get the thing, and I was like, ah. And I just watched that thing Rick did with Paul McCartney, and I text Rick, and I was like, man, I wonder if Paul would like play on this like as a just like
Not credited.
not like an uncredited
Yeah.
thing, because I'm just trying to do the Paul McCartney thing, and like he didn't say anything back. I love Bill Murray.
Oh yeah, you another person you've hung out with, I'm sure.
He's been a pal of mine for years now. He met me when I was like 17.
In fact, I feel like I've seen like footage of you performing, and Bill Murray's. They cut to him in the audience, and he's just like,
He's introduced me a few times to speak about guitars, and I actually spoke to Bill about this. It's crazy just to call him Bill.
I know. Right?
He's super down to earth, but he knows he's Bill Murray, you know.
Of course.
But anyway, this Firebird one, the Clapton one they did.
Yeah.
You know, and when I did my first Crossroads in 2019, Bill was wearing that around his neck, like when he was dressed as like late 60s Clapton, and like introducing the next band, and I was like, man, that guitar is so rad, but I really want it because Bill played it. And my Gibson rep, Cody Allen, Cody, the best.
Cody, love Cody.
She's awesome. She presented me that guitar, and I was so thrilled because it was the one Bill played. And I got to tell him about that. I'm going to get Bill to sign the back of the headstock.
So last time we hung out was at the Ryman, and I got to watch your show. That was awesome. How long ago was that? 3 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a little while now.
Are you working on another album already?
Yeah. So we actually finished the basic tracking for the next, like, I guess I could say it's the next full band record. And
Where it would be called Marcus King Band?
yeah, well, it's the first time me and the guys have been in the studio together since 2018, as it happens.
Oh, because the pandemic was when you made the current album?
Well, you know,
Or it started writing during that time? Or?
yeah, so I started writing on that record in 2020, and it was like a 2-3 year process kind of getting that record done, and then a year process getting it ready to be rolled out. So that was a long process. And before that was El Dorado. And, you know, I was thankful enough to use legends like Gene Christman and Bobby Wood and Billy Sanford, and he wrote
Pretty Woman, or?
you know it better than me.
There it is. Now I got it. You know, this is my signature guitar, but man,
wow.
it's I think I copied you. I think I
don't
said,
know.
give me the Marcus King special and slap my name on it. No, I'm just kidding. Now this guitar goes way back to grandfather, or?
We didn't have many like heirlooms or assets. Like this was kind of it, you know. My grandfather, when he was in the service, he bought this in Great Falls, Montana, when he was stationed out there, and he bought this in 64 Super Reverb that was new, and this was a couple years old. This is a 62. It's got a 58 serial number, but you know, they'd use those necks up a lot because they'd just be hanging around, as far as I know. But it's a 62, and it was kind of a custom order. The lure on it is like, I guess Hank Garland wanted the 345 with the sideways vibrola, and he had a tobacco sunburst and a red one sent to him, and he kept the tobacco sunburst. And my grandfather ended up with this, and he played it, you know, a lot. And he took really, really good care of his things. And he had a, you know, my grandmother, who was a redheaded woman, he had a red 62 Chevy Impala, and he had a big red guitar. So he had a guitar strap just like this that I have. So like my guitar strap's, you know, modeled after his.
What's your middle name?
My middle name's Lee.
So did you ever think about going Marcus Lee King?
I don't know. It always sounded like
You're trying too hard to...
Well, like I'd sprung a leak, you know?
Leaking, yeah.
Like Mark is leaking.
Understood. So do you remember learning like the pentatonic scale for the first time, or was this like tribal learning with your dad, your grandpa, just being around the music thing? Did you ever like sit and go...
I started with the...
And why is that? Someone like told you to do that?
My grandfather started me with the major scale, primarily just so I could learn like 1, 4, 5,
right,
flat 6, 7, you know.
Just there's 7 of them?
Just so we could talk through numbers, you know.
Okay. And so it was grandpa more than dad?
Grandpa, when dad was at work, and my dad taught me, because he taught lessons too for a long time. And I learned pentatonic kind of like sideways, right? Because he would teach in this style that was like he wanted the student to go home with something they felt like they could play a solo when they left, you know. So he kind of built up this curriculum that he used. He would teach you a riff, but it would be within the windows of these like scales.
That's way more valuable, I think, than actually practicing scales. It's like making music right away.
Yeah,
and then you can reflect on what scale it is.
Yeah, and that was kind of my father's approach. And I think I think that had a great deal to do with the way that I learned and the way that I started to pick up music.
Is there any like one thing that you remember practicing a lot that helped you, or?
My guitar instructor, Steve Watson. Steve was really rad. And he's still really rad. He just retired. You know, he taught the jazz program at the Fine Arts Center, but he was a touring musician. So like, I was gigging a lot in high school. So he knew me as like I was a gigging musician. So he would talk to the class, and like if I was getting out of line, he'd take me outside and be like, "Man, you gotta straighten your shit out, man. Like you really up." And he just talked to me like an old jazz cat, which he was. But he taught me about like just taking this shape and like moving it around. He was the first guy to kind of put me onto like, and like Kevin.
Are you using your? Oh, you're using your pinky there on that, like.
Get out of shapes as quickly as I learn them, if that makes sense.
Did you practice arpeggios?
No.
No?
No.
You're playing them though.
I know. Like I don't, like my style of playing has always sounded like rudimentary, and it's not, I don't know why it sounds like that.
Yeah.
That wasn't something that was in my dad's curriculum.
Do you play along to records when you were?
Yeah, every day.
What were some of the records you played along to?
Early on, it was like Fillmore East and Pronounced.
I've heard that one.
Yeah, Pronounced Leonard Skinner and Second Helping. And then later, Robin Trower, Bridge of Sighs was a big one.
Yes, yeah.
And about the time I was like 12 or 13, I just wanted to listen to singers primarily. I wanted to play the guitar like a singer. and Aretha Franklin. When I started listening to Aretha, that's when I started listening to like, you know, Tina Turner, and I was more interested in Tina singing than I was, you know, what the band was doing. And James Brown was a huge one. I was like, how can I emote like that via the guitar? Or Otis Redding. Sam Cooke was huge, but also like David Ruffin, like one of the biggest, you know, and he was the singer with the Temptations. He sang Ain't You Proud to Beg and My Girl. He was like the man.
All right, just want to thank Marcus King again for your time. Check out the new album, Mood Swings, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, we're going to dive into his newest single, Delilah, and that's going to be in a separate video. So please check out the link below for that extra video and all of Marcus King's future happenings. And I just want to thank him again, and thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Thanks, bud.
I'll be riding, trying to find my way back home. Sap, sap. You're in Watchtower territory, you know?